hade eja bank holiday ni nti amanfo bebre ya wo fie dodo no ankwa adwuma yedi holiday
the monyere mo hona munni na ja work na start ya gidi and rest so the onim so bia hia do nya day bi say ya then ba say wo adwuma dey rest bi animo.
Ivan, we the enchance na mimbusa wo reset ya na ya upgrade.
I think say you hear ni nyina bi we need to reset and upgrade. Because onim say the democracy no nema ejina so na nkasa na very weak foundation is very weak. Instead of say you build the strong institutions, we are building strong men and strong individuals. Our more wealthy, overwhelming political powers without recourse to law, order, sentiment of the people, whatever. No, they can just call the shot, just for political expediency, just for partisan expediency. But me assure say it me buana your reset system, you build the strong institutions, which will be anchored by strong men with strong conviction. And a bit me aboy my democracy na take off. And only you take decision you be dwene ho ye. And yes obi akwada soro boni team de be boni team bia na o gina say sabi and na oye. And I'm not sure say at this point and na Ghana for here. So I think say building strong institution at this time no are very 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 important that say na ye ho adwuma.
Na yen show nim say ebia follow the former president NDC womo manifesto launch yen hwe enuome bi a wo sisi so a wo kire se enei womo de munya akwanya pa na so womo ba ban mu a ombetimi aye ebi ni se woso full agriculture industrialization centers in all the 16 regions and a full implementation of the 24-hour economy for sustainable employment and jobs. Now, the real fight against corruption and poverty, swift investigation and prosecution through the operation recover all looted assets. And I will say end state capture, no more sales of public assets to politicians, no fees stress for first year students on Beko University, abolishing nuisance and ineffective statutory taxes such as e-levy, sanitation, betting, and COVID-19 levy. Now, so introduction of Women's Development Bank, complete all outstanding and abandoned project for development, a complete improvement of the entire education system, including free SHS, and a review of Article 71 and abolish S gratia. For now, in some way, NDC, one manifesto no. Woma highlight say omoba akwenya no moba ben mo betimi aye. Does it sound convincing? Is this something that will be a game changer, bearing in mind and I feel almost as well the $10 billion big push? Do you think it's bearing in mind say we are under a IMF initiative sir? Woman actually in the SCA.
Yes. Dr. Ren, and make say whenever you are in opposition you see it's better than the government that is the government of the day. Because you see, one hour in China, dispassionately you are able to detach emotions from what is happening. Now, when you have very critical review of the air course, and you say Obi Bokwan, no who said the chiacha, but in China, you are able to fairly assess the situation over who the air course. Because the war power no. I don't know quite wrong no bit in China or catch the intention is what time in Tina Walker. And the very people who are close to them are very critical. And you can't say much any pan of a no so or be a bootlegger because all criticize any panna and now there's an appointment or Maobi and now to me be bound the mount. And here you know the children yasa massa. And so opposition party air draw manifesto obviously no it will be richer than the government of the day because of maybe a no free bar or whose situation is differently than as a forum. You'll be able to tease out a lot. It's the reason why now going into 2020 elections, NDC came out with one of the most powerful manifesto. I'm for a talk of the town. I'm for count And I think that manifesto about 2020 no do answer sign and no na I improve kakra asanyaba. So obviously no in some maybe you expect it to be very, 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 very rich because my culture says sitting on the sidelines for over 8 years, monitoring how far things I so. And the last time I don't have a conversation, the culture was say going into this election between Bawumia and Mahama was advantage about Bawumia NDC, and that advantage, a goodwill. Because remember, Mahama was president. And now all run Ghana. So we had the economic indicators, the numbers, the statistics, and so forth. You can sit there and do fairly analysis and say, okay, Ghana for now, they were expecting more. But when the guy was told, say, oh, you're incompetent, now the next person comes and then take over. And at the end of the day, say incompetence, no crowd describing it. Obviously, goodwill will shift to his own favor. And that is the kind of card that Ikra Mahama as against Bawumia going into these elections. And coming up with this manifesto, said that I'm culture, obiti say, so what in semna, also fight corruption. Dr. Ren, yet here we other activists, even people within the political space. And in this era, a high tier cost has to do with political corruption. And over the years, there hasn't been any swift intervention from anybody. And sometimes a man can't do this. So what can I want China? It's so easy to say. It's very easy to say. But the thing is that when you get in now in your power now, will you go ahead and do that? And maybe what I think is in an event Mahama wins the elections and he fails to prosecute the people, I think that will be the beginning of the government falling. Because Dr. Ren, anger, there are people who are pissed looking at the trajectory of my namso and circular one common team and a babon thing, and crophobia isika, and crophobia for quines was a mine isika, and crophobia tongue or many japadia, san crophonon cobebia or more chroma. And there must be a certain deliberate effort be a bind be a wabano be make sure say san semna na ye cano say a mere allegation or whatever. It is your job to use the state resources to authenticate or otherwise these concerns, these allegations of theft, perjury, na for our coso. Na ye who say nampa nipa na ye prosecute na mana ye sika mana ye. That particular thing will bring relief to Ghanaians. It's at the political fringes I making campaign. What can a man for team could do her now want to be a ya? That would be a dear man for sorority. Come a culture as a baby ever bedroom and nay. Politics and and yet factions, assembly, NDC faction, MPP faction. There are a significant number of people within the medulla almost are taking keen interest. And whatever they say, and these people rule the social media, they rule the new media. You are very, very important. And this our promise say, Obama fight corruption. Indeed, Ghana for expect to say that particular promise, Ube carry. I'm a man for who say yes. What this so? I'm a coso. And one promise, I sense some farmers some has to do with the audit of banking sector now, banks now. Yes, I think that it is very, very important because there are some of us who are still convinced kwanya ya fast or ye good banks sabi ya finance akwan so na good we didn't do proper audit. And at the end of the day people who carried out that option say ye good bank they have foolishly caused financial loss to this particular country. Because Dr. Ren, if you can recapitalize these sinking banks with 9 billion, now why yes certain managerial re-engineering, why restructure certain things within just to ensure say we put a strong framework. I bet debar these people from say the answer if a bank needs to come, you can't say the scanner more betty. Now they're not buying now some fast one saying there must be a proper and a swift regulation framework. Bank and say oh dear crana. You'll be scared so don't say about bank needs to come. Come a culture say so be a private banker. And your private BM and now yet once Ghana for citizens and a do musica area investment our that particular bank no public no our stake. As a public our stake or banker, public no policeman buying. So government has to ensure that the economic safety and the economic welfare of these people in these banks is safeguarded. Is the reason why an government work more to ensure say about recapitalizing these banks in order to save jobs. Now you're making sure that the proper regulations about my catch. I don't want to drag you back. What happened in 2008 in America when they had that big recession? Obama buy or they saw big money in the banks, big banks, JP Morgan Chase, and other banks to buy distressed assets. In the end, they were able to recapitalize these banks, and most of them are maintaining a year Juma and the profit a triple. So that was the option, and I share. But you can't answer them. The Akufo-Addo government didn't listen. They didn't bad. Now here we are. And I think that we're making a promise. So because in recent time, who Papa Kwesi Nkrumah or call Mahama, and I think that is the same clarion call or place on him. Say Oba, something should be done about this bank. And I think that say Oba now inquire say any emotions. Oh, you go on bank, you farm mokeka. I think that would be a mistake. Like he said, you need to do proper forensic audit to ascertain fairly. Say these banks, then you can identify the individuals and prosecute them. And if there is a way government infuse certain capital into these banks, they bring them back to life. Because beige capital, there was a time I had opportunity to run around the whole of this country. Dr. Red, it will interest you to know, say, hinterland, every part of Ghana, Nakobia, even including villages. Now me who beige capital, a small bank, oh baby. And my culture said some of these economic activities at the local level what to stifle the economic growth because Okuania or not turn and also fish, no. On to me walk it to any commercial bank and I say or call Eco Banks or loan. Your corner see a shan pabwa shana pamano. Cause bank and no a bass of a penisica or sham pabwa shower or this kind of own to me to your unfarm. But this beige capital no ya tailor your home to feed into the needs of these small petty traders. And the okoha, they will find that person worthy enough to give that person certain money. No, so fan ko train adwumam na on piano and kakra. And we are buying us our banner but fast anima in the name of say obia a mistake here. Then it means that you are not thinking right. God my culture last year about 4 big banks in America. And you are aware. Big Bank, Signature Bank, Eguye, and several Republic Bank, Eguye, and one other bank. Nina Guye in the US. And we say a good crowd and I say a town. A bank identifies banks no financial distress. And I believe one now so say or mood declare bankrupt. Na government and make arrangements, na I will be a sika quiet bank, Sebaya, Sikane woman, no individuals now musika woman, they will not lose their job. And we will just change the ownership swiftly. I will be a crying away. Acquire backlist fast will free chroma. Till date, among for them say, upside no, I have backlist in Sunny. There are people who they don't even know that backlist a free hack. What I say, patches a backlist in the C1 or master some wooding keke, but almost how wooding backlist is gone. And a South African company, I bet take you over. But said is no, or more no musica or some of them didn't even know that backlist a cop. What I say, Sana ye near mano. And I think that or say or buy a forensic auditor, a whole any here, because won't mean five emotions, Majina say, oh, you go papa bank, papa your bank budget, you boo, your sense of Quabana 4 bank, or NDC into Brabado.
Send your work and crowd a year, Dr. Bawumia say, collapsed banks can only be returned to owners by court, not Mahama.
Oh. It depends on the cases because banks, most of them are good and you're caught in a good. You're good through court ruling. A government decision.
Yeah.
Yes. So government can revive these banks. Say a court and a court or my order say these banks, I say you're good. And you might need court ruling to revive these banks. But court to be for ruling mabon since young bank be. So where lies the argument say you hear court ruling from where? And at the end of the day, say government etimi ye forensic audit realize say certain things. Now say Dr. Ren, say your investigation kana ye de call court. And na banks ni di for na court no ka say yengu banks na. Government na waba no I want the resources to do a new investigation to find new evidence. I bet me turn the ruling. So you see, some say where they and I think
and after all, the purpose of a year Abambia is to create jobs. In this urban you say obetimia buana say a year banks betimi jina na so na betimi afa nipa na ma nipa ye adwuma. And yes. Say why not?
Yes, and nipa ye adwuma no threat to national security will be lessened. And you know, in Omaimu, the most powerful tool I had override everything is threat to national security. And never to me tamudu yes. So I think they are not there. So I think there is one key thing. Very, very important. As a okaso obeya, I think that is very, very important. As a yama ye ye. And I know MPP from Elanchi of Manifesto no. Omo can say which I menu nyina can have about say yeah. And I think that Mahama said the same thing. Say people who are disabled, they will go to tertiary schools for free.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that is very, very, very important because Dr. Ryan, you know, say it doesn't make sense. Say be a disabled person. That what me try JSS. What me born home or try secondary school no tertiary acquire so school fees. It doesn't make sense. We see idea way and yet none SNK can was a senke yen dada. Because if you saw mine will fail to take care of the vulnerable, no, a threat the kind of a mine away. Yet to me adding, and that is what we are. So I think that it is good that the two political parties need to realize say baby about the dream as a yes something like this. Now yet to me give these people some inclusion be now omo may bad the metana kwan ho sreska. Because nipa oye deformed and one part biano is enhanced in another way. The adeba kwa nipa nhunu no obi e nani afura omo this obi asa bi nani hu ade ebe ya onwa say they are very sensitive obetimi anante atware ba bia wow na on touch or so nti anasa on pema ade because they have their senses aye adwuma because one is compensating for the other. So these people, most of them are academically, you could know, say, they are very, very good. There is this young guy on social media, who's did their term, I'm friend, Bulgaria or something. On it. Yes. So, Doctor, what's in Canada or Kasa? Sabi, Obia, who's unconscious, Sabi, or you're disabled and a new one there. You will not believe it.
Yeah,
you could see that this is an intelligent guy.
So on the crime so Legon also, I think so.
Okay, I don't know much about him, but a couple of times Mahuna or Kasa, you could see clearly say, even though he has that challenge, but this is a very intelligent guy. At the end of the day, you know, nudging say onya resources and as for this person can go to a certain extent to bebre. So we can't always marginalize these people and just throw them out.
Ivan, obibe say inti yes disabled people here Kenya. Ufa the National Council on Person with Disability NCPD. Okay. Almost so much man is saying, Kabana idin put the common as and Keja, omutimi a friend is saying charter be and our policies be forcing the government to implement it about persons living with disability. They be an aqua these council now most of them are not effective and buama ye jume dieno aye dieno to mean conkai na they be an aqua jina party for no so abandoning in the ministers. So meanwhile, we have a lot of these sectors. I'm few saying, say you may a king by now cried and can long overview a due cries and come to me and say, are there a criminal persons living with disabilities? Eko suku, now we move to school fees. Now one more bread, even crano, and Naya is in Ghana crown, and yet disabled friendly. A dime will walk cry lifting this and Nippon what time and not enough for Bonsai. So the question is, National Council on Persons with Disability, no, to almost also cry no, omejuma anything or matna wama. People with disability are going through all these.
Yeah, a very, very important question, but I answer no our panel a highlight who we are.
Yeah.
Highlight who we are.
As a person, we don't even care about others.
No, we don't. We don't. And I'm catch all UK, you know how the vulnerable people are taken care of.
Oh, yes.
And as this video circulating on social media, a number of Ghanaian nurses are going to UK. Most of them are going to care homes.
Yeah.
Care homes to take care of vulnerable people. Some are dunderhead, some are societal misfit. Obi oha wouldn't ye. Obi wa schizophrenia, obi wa mania. There's a whole lot of your friends say conditions. Yes, elated. Yes, Dr. Ren. But you see, the government has realized we need to take care of these vulnerable people because nobody will. Because family, you know, sometimes they become overwhelmed. What in UK now, our family be area. Obi a question, man, be that just be taken care of. Obi a yare that fear. So government, you know, who say they are human beings. Nyankopon a bomb, or they need help. So I reflected with a sort of social interventions or more yeah, utu kwan kodru na or mother, or baba corner so government has a way of supporting you. You see, this support system.
I mean, children with autism cry. I mean, Ghana cry there. You make us say, oh, where do you be for na sebi? Wakwa cry obiampe. But meanwhile, you know, I mean, autism, just to say the Arabia, it but just it needs more attention. Sending we care for the person. Now you live in a country, Ghana. Now here the to me treaty, ma minimum cry, one more a gambaga near to the which camp. A care home.
Yes, but be a year drew, be a reasia drew, nanya damn nesabi, nyansa and nipania. Would me sit down, catch the nipa say a birum baby, you're from West Camp, na ya diatum. Near tag your more such. The government,
president free war, a year the vice president is free war.
Everywhere. Yes. Not ya no. And these people are more by the grace of God. Or more live or more life, some are 60, some are 80, 90, are they are supposed to enjoy good life or more live on your target of no baby, and I hear more treaty or more. That is who we are. And the air we are suffer more chroma. Why now, Soraka say, yeah, can you one boma sorry? Say, no, Sanya, we are yet and copa body, sorry, tia. What is that soft be a sorry, say, or more your campaign against which campaign as for that? What to be that?
Mesin kame be baho krana what can kama is yes. Because okay kind Bible no a year a friend is saying a year proverbs a quotation a say nyankopon embuan kofo say I wisdom dwell with prudence and find out knowledge with witty inventions. Nti ye pe wo mo ankomo adwene a etimi creative bibia wo mo from witchcraft for any wizard for no mo say witty minds that can create things, you know, unimaginable things for a society. There's the idea. You don't want to go baby near the Bible or one of Periana and Ajo as well witchcraft.
Obia miana and the political party manifesto in some because he was never featured anywhere because I don't cry now. I'm not dressing I'm not dressing.
Wouldn't say yeah can no policies here omudi be ni manifesto omudi be we chef manifesto ni bo atim say we dey quite said here or I so be no what na be no working kind be no say nchrongu book ni ngba kin but any society na ye team no ye brand ni ye hu manifesto nyene ni ye hu no
David I say ye tailor because you look at the people, you identify immediate problems, you weave solutions a bit me address these challenges and deeper a relief. These are the interventions you put in place. But some of these things, Dr. Ren, we know baby, entina, ye can disability group lumpening for no identity more advocate for their people. Ghana hano, say yeti committee commissioner na whatever ne do anymore. People I omudi anymore free say, oh ye na ye didi, or more prayer control, ye pray say, or more free meeting and on friend anopa, obenya network, I'll bet in your fast ajijisikawa man for. So what our representative or no? They don't give a damn about you. That is why over the years, you know, some are here can about your government buildings and your disability friendly. Nobody's advocating. As we are here, Kasa people must go to school free. They don't care. They don't care. Obia kra anywhere overcome amount and omo nipo mudi omoni who are supposed to lead this. Overcome no because of omudi animu no. They omunya niaman ketenkete and this is Ghana. Yenya workers union called demonstration. Government can call the heads or bribe omo. Then they go and tell people say ma challenge nyina young return to job. That is who we are collectively. No, we don't care about obia. We care about our selfish individual way to and then they play out in some of these manner. And again, I think that Adeba very interesting. You see another crash. Bawumia NDC campaign has to do with removal of taxes. And some of the key issues are you see, the funny aspect of it has to do with where Bawumia is coming from. Like I mentioned the last time, he's part of the establishment, part of the government that introduced some of these things. And in the face of these taxes, Dr. Ryan, go and check your revenue compared to your expenditure. Your budget, your deficit-based budget. Budget ni ya draw to why yam fire and san cash, ya de cut. Sometimes 50 billion, sometimes this. Because a deficit based, ye dibro de yenyaso. So government or see or abanya all be taxes where through is part of a government. Why introduce these taxes and then revenue no crown so there. And if you tell people say maybe these taxes are free, Dr. Ren, what you need to assure people and say, okay, may a part of our buying there, namen for us to say buy, which people will find it very difficult to believe. Say me you were free. These are the alternatives. Maybe be replace it. You don't hear anything. No one say me buy free because me a mate na me no me buy na me supporting and as for. The opposition party will have every right to say so obey free. Because or not of in China, the policy planning as for may be different. But as to what I say, truly obey ye flu and as only flu and power no could independence obey. But at this point, people are complaining about nuisance taxes, especially go to the port. And rather many will be having this conversation. And I will be Sunday car, water recently car near 2014 car. Taxes a good sooner than for the red, who are we young best show. Car no. Say a ton taxes no bo crime and yes so better. Car no tax na dia to so no a uti an port no. Say a tam car na ya ton no port to sika na mawa. I'm not sure you buy. That is the challenge I also. And if you walk through these taxes, what do you find? Very interesting. COVID levy, COVID this, COVID blah way. Just say and some gunungwana ya chire abwa when we know very well say nipa ho chire no. So we are vice president and then as our intervention be na start something, let the people know say baby akwakoduru ye tax A B C D free ho. Say be ma nipa assurance say indeed you are really committed to their work. But I'm saying nipa no nsam no all kind of wa keke. He doesn't mean anything. And no ba kan fa no ho adi. And it's the reason why you hear some of these things. The last time I have issue with this promise Mahama Meki said first year university, first tertiary year.
Yeah.
Yes, because now I was telling you that promise wasn't necessary. Because you see, Ghana is on the precipice. You look at the immediate needs of the people. Now I address it. Yes, it's a fact. School, I'm for facing challenges and as well. We've all been there. First year, people face challenges and as well. But Dr. Ren, the economy is stuttering on the brink of a possible crash. Because and especially at the time, free SHS policy na abano. And I'm saying I create a lot of problem at the secondary school level. Say buying the buses here now swiftly we need to activate an infrastructure where you're able to bring some of the infrastructure like the e-blocks now buying abandon to completion. Sabaya and krano moko your first disco light secondary school no obi kwa na obi ko data no yet me is ade na free ho Now you making sure say the proper framework regulate the free SHS program no. Say I'm no say you need a guaranteed source of funding oh. Oil money no be and now binding in sakwa no legislation and a back no. Baby the world is going green, don't forget. And I've been telling people, say, in the next 10 years, one way our oil over no because car be no car, petrol. Some of these industries, they are finding a way of running them on different stuff, and then most of them are go solar energy, and some of the
electric cars.
Yes, electric cars. It be cost solar, and I say for a time will come. Oh, oil one way I want no my better na more the that is why even countries like Saudi Arabia and other counterparts are more world producers of oil. No, are finding a way on betting use the oil for other stuff. Na se emredu koduru, na se elusi ni value omo. So no oil no. No emredu kwa do the prices will tumble. And this sika and free SHS and finance na. We need an assured a guaranteed source of funding. So these are regulatory framework. As you focus on your builder, now you're addressing way through yes, I understand there are challenges. But Dr. Ren, challenge I've run through Ghana universities. Problem has to do with infrastructural deficit, accommodation. Even the premier university of Ghana, University of Ghana, go there and look at the challenges. You do say you be a porter now. We are first year. Now you be a porter now. Dr. Ren, it's me choky. Unya baby na. It's me choky kra unya baby na. Enti sasa challenges we need as a phone now ha. Adentina young focus na ya address it. Na young say economy so sabi atinye jina baby because we UK obianu a tertiary aye free for obia even omo di omo ho no. It's not free. Oko US tertiary is not free. The whole essence of this thing is the scholarship. The scholarship and the student loan trust fund na so why can't we make it sure say nipa no ho kire na say or apply to school now at the same time no or apply for the student loan. Admission no beba no. Now student loan has been approved. I don't know sir, as I make sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, yeah.
Yes, because I say as a student in rural school, it's very difficult for them to assess first year, no, sikano man term, it's maybe second year. So, my solution, me de ban say, sabaya government ne enye overburden, no. Adentina nkwa no apply to universities na. That your friends saying sikano student loan no enye available at the time when you na apply. Enti obenya admission no, go school no. Now student loan also has been approved. But there will be this system school who and who has been admitted and who apply for student loan so that the government will not put burden on itself and may could school fees for tertiary students when we know some we school befia adumani ho mba so adentina yam for student loan support you sa sika na yede na wonko free no yam fa mbe enuma yam fa support na yam mbe enuma ma manfo nya benye. Because the last time I was telling you, going into the next elections, what Ghana are looking for has to do with one important thing Mahama Kanwasem, and I think that he has been very consistent with that, and it's very, very important. The review of your constitution. Very, very important because conversation have we there be a Kanwasem say your constitution, outlive the essence, the usefulness at this time. And that there is the need for us to embark on a massive constitutional re-engineering, which he has promised to do. And I think that's very, very important because Article 71 holds a emolument over the years, abaya abatross on our neck. Obi be servo MP 4 years. Oba Jessica, we are na yasia tam as gash and the amano. You see, some of these things and shame kunai. What happens to the teacher? Ne teaching life in a bicycle no timitoy. What happens to that person? Minister no ya abanya toka amano na what betwia ye we no or kwa na yasia ton 5,000 na the amano fo. Ye can't teacher ni not take class chira de say sabi onim nyansa no kwasha class na o chira de Everybody want to come to the political space. Everybody. Because that is the place that you join there, you be comfortable. Oh, yeah, what you saw, Quatanase, a Kuriasia Quachera there. Bosume Bessono, not a more what frino, and ya the ketwa, Amonsono, or Master that a more bicycle in the Mimcrasin.
The amount for media politicians.
The salary 1,500, no, to me, Jim Mombag a baby and sat near a good training them. I've a bank and a salary about 3 cities. No, or the Ninja. You see, we need to make the system uniform. Sabia Babio Biao Biano or Juma or Behuza when a mayor mensono your friend is saying Menya Bibi Kakrafrim. Now no na me catro be say yen no mutu kwan echo US UK. Say omoye 100 omo working for government directly less than 5%. Omo white collar job abakasa decent job less than your friend saying 10%. So 80% of blacks are to kwan ko we no dodo na manual jobs na dodo na aye. Obi wa McDonald's.
Yeah, ka Ghana ka beka say abanye dwuma no.
Abanye dwuma no. Obi wo ha beko McDonald's no ye dwuma. Ade speli gu form no apapa. Obi hohuru nchansim. Obi wo shop. Ne de ne say wa attend. Obi a manager. But these jobs obi say garbage. But you know, sa nyuma we yet Ghana ha ne yemu. Do you know why? Because obi en ho betu akaye. But over there no. Usika na obeje no. Say edru weekender, baby a bank manager, a bit me a spending the sika no. Now quality garbage, you know, you can go and you call sit at the same place. So Dr. Ren, any brother or heaven?
Any brain shed any ho. At the end of the day, it's a nipa ne time to me to be, and I mean minimum wage, you know, and so grana allow me to me, I can spend, you know,
exactly. Exactly. Until me na me wo UK na me say me come McDonald's I can hold chance him. Na say misika menya I can just sit anywhere bank manager and I even sometimes some of these MPs you will be atana and some of these guys quite drive fancy cars are very expensive than some of these people because ono na dwuma na oye no oye McDonald's we are or siako e bia garbage or collect o we are e bia our shop be 2 hours we shop baby. You see the energy people are willing to work.
I mean, as far as you have, I mean, your credit score so cry good. I mean, in terms of getting card here, it's not something exactly.
Exactly. And you know, you miss na adwuma we adwuma phone the yenti akaye. I met one of guy be now our Kumasi since no you movie bi and our castle to pine call France for the first I'll call ye or china per adwuma fanboy or no to call per adwuma na omo command McDonald's. Ena obi anim no ena okura mop no twi form no I say at the end of the day no it is about money. Sikana obenya is decent enough a obetimi dia ye de ope bia onya handicap. So you see that is how as you build the system no ugo maka aban betimi afa soldier for do say teacher for do say na betimi afa police for do say na betimi afa. But we need to enhance the capacity of the private sector to be able to take these people. Na yentu omokaye. By making sure say yentu omokaye. Dr. Ran, there are foreign companies at China for Mabakruma or more baby Juma. Do you know what they do? They don't employ Ghanaians directly. Or more, you say recruiting agencies. And you know, Sikabi on Bedibiano, they give you to these recruiting agencies. No more Kofa Ghana for. Now, Omawa Jumana, every Bronino company is paying over 2,000 to each person. Now, recruiting agents, no intermediary, no amount 250 Ghana cedis. I'm telling you because some of these stories be brabamanim. Because there is no proper regulation that will mind because maybe I'm away. There are systems and places you can go and complain. And nipa na wo ye adwuma ma no suro se o cheatiu na ko report na de beba nye by ha obi cheatiu a okokoro basen abo apam account as free akọ system na nye And that is what we need to focus on. Now you make sure, say, you build the system in such a way, say, baby, there will be that sense of decency. And you can assurance, say, oh, Sabi, I do not know, I know the day, no, a best in the and yes, a politics in Kwana Kurama. And it's the reason why now people are hungry. Or Ninyans how in the team, but also about parliament. And be a yard being a bid in the team, governance on Tiasia or your leader, also be the president. Adanya, or a couple of brain and the Sika. African Kwana Mamuta Sabi. Oh, Sika, and near short take it here, you can become president. We see, we live in a very funny environment. So I know the day, we end up putting your very idiots at sensitive positions. Omoba, arrogance is what they live in their wake, and everybody become frustrated.
Reverend Martin said, "Enyansafwe mu ehin, enyansafwe ne nkodia."
Other people will come. Other people will come. And it's very, 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 very important. I say, yeah, hoduma. Yes, I think so back to the manifesto, no. I think there are taxes and air cost on a bad thing, and as a form of name, we never you be your free honor. I think that are very, very, very important that I buy a promise it so obey your free Bawumia, and Mahaman so say obey your free ho. And I think that so what's your conversation I have cost na
Ivan said me bow. So when we free wa, this is here what IMF me. Almost one be from. No, we be say. Nkofo insusu sampen fo mienu insusu kire ekwan a wo mo be fa so a wo mo nso be modern se on be develop wo man Ghana no na ene yo mo ka so mo be twetwa sa taxes mi. Then the question is sa revenue na so munya nom de development no ekwan ben so no be fa wo benya sa sika no a wo mo de be develop wo man Ghana because ane ye da IMF a friend is saying en hihye yemu na wo so ba taxes here boy between your revenue between the development say akwan ene hospital where you be see schools